Hello, you're watching the Archieluxury program, and I'm joined with a special guest today. And for those of you fuckers who don't know, it's 4:08 a.m. in Brisbane, Australia. I was having trouble sleeping. I've had a very, very tough week. I've had blackmailers. I've had a lot of personal problems to deal with. And I'm kicking and tossing in bed, and I thought, fuck this. I'm going to do a live show. And yeah, that's basically what I did. I went and had a shit, and I just had I put on my shirt, and put on my Speedmaster Man on the fucking Moon. And I'm doing a live show. Now we're doing a live show with Josh. And
hello.
I'll just bring him in. Josh, how are you?
I'm doing well today, Archie. How are you?
Hey, that's fantastic. This is completely unrehearsed. This is just jump straight in. No rules. Just jump in and we can chat. The only thing I ask you is, due to legal reasons, due to the ongoing legal issues, we don't want to mention some of my competitors by name, but you can ask anything you want, Josh. Anything you want to ask, you just ask, but we don't mention other sites, other channels. But you can chat, you can ask anything you want, Josh. So firstly, how did I find Josh? Well, what happened is I was logging into YouTube, and it brings up suggestions for videos to watch, and I noticed Josh had done a story on Archieluxury. So you know, I'm a bit of a I'm a media tart. Anyone says something about me, I want to see it. I want to get that brand name out there. So I clicked on it, and it was quite a nice little story he did there. It was really well done. So I was really happy with that. So I sent Josh an email and said, hey, let's do a show sometime. So that's what happened. So Josh, tell me about yourself and your YouTube channel, Perfect Timing.
Perfect Timepiece. Yeah.
Perfect time. Fuck, I think I fucked the title up, Josh. I'll have to fix it up once we finish this. Perfect Timepiece. Okay, no worries.
Yeah, that's all right, Arch. Yeah, so I started the channel just about a month and a half ago. I don't know if you knew that, but I'm relatively new here on YouTube.
Fantastic. And what's your genre? What's the go? What do you talk about?
Yeah, well, I do the news stories every Wednesday, which I think is the video that you saw that I talked about your recent fiasco.
yeah, that's
your ordeal.
Right. I'm still going through it. It's 4 a.m. I can't sleep.
I know. I'm really sorry to hear that, Arch.
People thinks it's a joke, but it's no. I've had some serious problems. Just to you know, it's just very, very nasty. And what can you do?
Yeah, I think in my video I said I thought it was fake. And
at that point in time, surprised. That was very upsetting, Josh.
Yeah, well, at that time you had only released the one video.
Yeah, and, the teaser. It's called a teaser, Josh.
It was quite the teaser. But the more I looked into it, I actually watched another video.
Yes.
That you had linked to, and yeah, it looked a lot like a mess.
Yeah, no, that's how it goes. All I can say to you is, Josh, you know, you see these movie stars, the A-grade movie stars, right? Like Tom Cruise, you have your Mel Gibson, you have your, you know, those sort of, you know, Brad Pitt, you got that Johnny Depp, right? And you have people who befriend you and want to be close to you because, you know, it's just like moths to a light. They want to know, they want a piece of you. And then when you don't live up to their ideals of what perfection is, they burn you quickly, and they try and they try and push you into something you don't want to do. Now, I'm only if Johnny Depp and Tom Cruise are A-grade celebs, I'm probably how would you put it? I'm probably down to a P grade, you know.
Oh, wow. I was going to be more generous.
Yeah, maybe what would you say? F?
I was thinking E or F.
E or F. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty cool in diamonds. I'm happy to go with that. So this is what happens. And even though I'm not really that famous, you know, like you look at some of these channels, Casey Neistat, what's his name? Casey Neistat.
I love him. Yeah.
You know, he's got billions of views, and you see PewDiePie got thousands, you know, millions, billions of views. And I'm here with a pissy 30 million and 30,000 subscribers, but the watch community is small. See, you got to understand that. You know, the watch community is very small, and you know, it's a small environment. It's small environment, and that's why I've gone into other men's topics. You know, the men's. See, I'm a men's channel. I don't know if you know this. A lot of people have criticized my videos because they say, well, they're a bit risque, but I've gone into men's topic, you know, adultery,
right,
and weekends abroad, away with fine women, you know, that sort of topics. And ask your first question, Josh. Fire away. You got an interview, you got an exclusive. Fire away.
Wow.
Fire in the hole. Fire away. Question 1.
Yeah. So you mentioned I've heard some rumors that some of the other nameless channels have been attacking you. Have you received like copyright strikes on any of your videos? I mean, I think everyone here, including me, wants to know really what's going on.
Yeah, I got to be a bit careful what I say here, but basically it's real nastiness, okay? A lot of really nasty shit's going on there. I don't want to say too much, but basically I had a sponsorship with Jewelers on Time.
Yep.
And I lost that sponsorship due to somebody setting up some fictitious accounts, bombarding my sponsor with emails begging them to dump me. And eventually, look, my sponsor is very cool. Jewelers on Time was very cool, but they just don't want to. They want to sell fucking watches. They don't want to be interrupted by fucking lunatics who are threatening all sorts of fucking things to get back at me. So there's been some very nasty. See, I need that money because I'm doing this full time. I'm trying to do it full time. See, and it's very, you know, I need every source of the revenue I can get. What can I fucking say? I need every source. So they poisoned my revenue. They've also a lot of nastiness has come out there. I've had people write to my family, send letters to my family. I have had personal abuse. It just freezes for a second. I don't know what the fuck's going on here.
Yeah, I don't know, Arch.
Josh, fucking anyhow, Josh, just bear with me. We'll just
that's fine.
Josh, so anyhow, there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of things. They've been trolling me. They've been saying they've been really nasty. They posted home address. Fuck me. They posted my home address. They posted personal details, and they've criticized my friends. They posted my friends' home address because I do some collaboration. So be careful, Josh. Doing a video with me makes you a target. You're going to become a target. You're going to get some of the hate. It's been very aggressive. They've had just a lot of thumbs down and It's a lot of nasty comments, and it's I've had to employ a moderator to the comments. A lot of fake accounts. You can see it's the same person or the same people over and over again trying to cause harm. So to put it bluntly, there's been commercial attacks, there's been personal attacks, there's been trolling. It's just a terrible, terrible situation. And I had a good friend of mine who runs another channel. He's had off meat posted to him. It's very serious stuff. Okay, it's very nasty and serious.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah, I mean, as a fellow YouTuber, having your personal information leaked and having nasty comments is hard to deal with.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, I think if you put yourself out there, look, what I really dislike is the fact that I've put myself out there, but the people attacking are hiding behind something else. And you know, I put myself out there, so I mean, I can handle certain criticism, but when you attack my friends' wives and stuff like that, it gets very personal and nasty. And that's what's going on. It's very vicious. And believe it or not, Josh, if you've looked at the stuff, there's another channel who wants to take over the market. Okay? They're paying this person to harass and troll me. I have it from a number of sources. Because the best source of information is an enemy's enemy. So this is someone who's friends with somebody, then they have a falling out, then they sing like a canary, and they tell you all the dirt.
Yep.
And I've had multiple people who've been friends with a certain channel, and then they've had a falling out, and then they've come and told me the dirt. And it is in line with the abuse I've suffered. So that's the honest truth. And I'm a pretty lazy fuck. I'm a really lazy, unmotivated fuck. And I can't be bothered trolling or even watching other people's videos for a big part. So I've had the dating site addiction I had early in the year. I was really addicted to online love. I've had my own problems. Next question, Josh. No air. You can't have air. Those gaps between the questions are no good in this business.
Yeah, I guess my other question is, where do you see? I guess what's your message to your YouTube subscribers, and what do you want to get out to the world? I think earlier, before you kind of shifted a little bit away from the really high-end luxury pieces, and I think a few people are a little confused about what your stance is toward lower end watches and what you're trying to get across with your videos. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, it broke up a bit there, Josh. I don't know what the fuck the problem is. I think those haters are fucking sabotaging my lines. See, this is how bad the hate goes. I think I got your question. Look, I've always been it's a personal journey I've gone on, and I basically went very haute horology. I had two Pateks, an AP, a Breguet, a Reverso, and then I sold them off and regrouped. But I haven't said, okay, let's go and get a $300 Seiko. I've gone and said, well, Rolex, a Master. I've gone for quality pieces. These are usable pieces. So I suppose my stance is I love the very high end, your Patek, your Vacheron, your AP, your your Richard Mille, but I kind of like usable watches. I want to use watches. So I don't want fucking shitters, but I want something I can wear. So I suppose that's the thing. I've gone for usable. I got to use it. If I can't use it, it's no good to me. I got a limited time on this planet. and I'm not getting any thinner. I'm going to have heart problems and other issues coming up. So I got to enjoy my watches. I don't want things that are safe queens. I want to enjoy them and wear them. So my stance is very much usable watches. Usable. What can I use? And the gold sub's a perfect example. That's a piece of jewelry. It's gold, but it's very usable. I can jump in the pool. I can take it on tour. Whereas you may not do that with, say, the annual calendar I had. You know, it's sort of, it's a different. So Josh,
Yeah.
the answer is that it's very much, I am into usable watches. It's a journey, but I'm not going into shitters. I'm not going into cheap garbage watches.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, next question, Josh.
What got you into watches? What was your first Grail watch, so to speak?
Well, see, Josh, I'm an old guy. I am 44 in October. Okay, so these internet whippersnappers out there, that's really old. But see, in my day, people didn't collect watches. I came from Brisbane. There was no internet. What the fuck? It just freezes. It just gives me the fucking shits. I don't know what the fuck this is going to look like when we fucking view this fucking thing later.
Yeah, I don't know.
But look, fuck me dead. Look, I would say, to be honest, actually, it's better when you're not there. If I'm talking, it actually comes up better. Look, I just wanted a good watch. That's why I got a Rolex Explorer 1. I just wanted a decent watch. Collecting wasn't a big thing. I only became a collector when I realized, hey, it was acceptable to collect. You could have a couple, and what a great hobby. So I started in the early 90s. 1990, I got my first decent, what I call a decent watch. I had a Rolex Explorer 1. So that's kind of, I got this watch, and then it became very valuable. So that kind of got my interest in it. Wow, you can have a watch, and it goes up in price. It's just amazing. I happen to have chose a very good example because the watch I had was the last of the plastic Explorer ones, very desirable watch, even though they softened a little bit in recent times. But yeah, that's what got me interested. And then I just love watches. I love them. So the internet's really what made me a collector, because before then you think, oh, why would you have more than one? Why would you waste your, but then all of a sudden, fuck it. There's other people who collect watches. So it's the community. The community is what made me a collector. I bought my first decent watch, a Rolex, in 1990. Then many years later, I saw a guy advertising in the paper selling secondhand watches. I thought, fuck, I always wanted a, I'm a bit embarrassed to say this on your channel, but I wanted a Cartier. And I bought a Cartier from him. I thought, fuck, this is really cool. And that's what got me. I thought, fuck. So I managed to get these pieces. This was late 90s, mid to late 90s. See, some of these fuckers who run channels weren't even born then. You know that?
So I wasn't, Arch.
No. So that's what happens. Fuck. It's just, I don't know why it jams like that. Anyhow, it doesn't fucking matter. We'll just try our best. So, yeah, that's what got me into it. So before then, it was looked down upon. You were considered a hoarder. You were considered weird. Weird if you collected these things. You know, you didn't collect watches. That was kind of a weird thing. So it's the community that got me really into it with the internet. You know, I remember going on Time Zone and, you know, those forums like that, watchnet.com and, you know, forums like that. That's what got me going. Next question.
Yeah, sure. Where do you see yourself going in the future? I know you're recovering from your most recent divorce.
Hey, I didn't hear a fucking thing there. What the fuck? What the fuck did you say? Sorry.
Where do you see yourself in the future? Like your collection, I know you're recovering from your divorce, so.
Yeah, look, I got to tell you the divorce is painful. You know, these women, they just fucking keep pumping. Look, she's actually, it's all okay. It's all okay. Don't get, too many affairs. Women don't appreciate it when you're giving love to other women. You know that? I'm just a lover, not a hater. They don't see the humanitarian side to that. What's wrong with giving
Yeah.
more than one woman an orgasm? Do you see any problems with that in the same day?
Yeah, I mean, that's
I'm
against
just trying to
traditional
give pleasure.
beliefs.
I'm trying to give pleasure to women, you know? People are calling me a misogynist, but I'm a lover, not a hater. Look, what do I see? I tell you the honest truth. It's been a journey. I've had beautiful things. Then I got to tell you the truth. You know, at the core of my collection, the core is Amiga Speedmaster Man on the Moon. I'm always going to have one up my sleeve.
Yep.
Explorer 2, always going to have one of those up my sleeve. Reverso. Those three are really my core. Okay? The gold sub, that's my show-off fancy pantsy piece. Okay? I would like to say I want to keep it forever, but it's so expensive, I may need the money. You know what I mean? But those
Yep.
three are the core. Look, the only thing I'm really craving, right? The only thing I'd really love to get a Breguet Type 20 again. I've had two. I've sold them, but I'd like to get one back again. And a Patek 5196 manual wine dress watch. No date, just a very simple, even simpler than the Calatrava I had before. So that's what I'd really love to have. I've also gotten a lot of enjoyment. Let me explain this to you. I used to love owning things before, whether it was women, it was cars, it was watches. I wanted a huge collection, right?
Yep.
Like I used to buy camera equipment and I like having all the top lenses and shit like that, right? Now
Yeah.
I want to take a nice photo. I don't care about, okay, it's nice to have good equipment, but it doesn't have to be the most expensive or the best. I get pleasure in making a good photo, not so much having the most expensive camera or the latest camera. I like making, and you don't need to have the latest and greatest to make good photos. So the same thing with my watches. Whereas I wanted the best, I wanted the most prestigious, I wanted the ultimate. Now I said, oh, hang on a minute. I want usable, classic, iconic pieces. That's what I've always been about. Classic, honest, usable pieces. So you get something like the Amiga Speedmaster Man on the Moon. That's an absolute bargain. One of the greatest movements in a chronograph. Got the Explorer 2, waterproof, dual time zone, great bang per buck. The Reverso, haute horology, Patek quality at a Rolex price. You can't get better than that, you know. So for me, usability is so important. And I think in many ways, the usability is so important. I want to be able to use it. If I can't use it, I don't need it. I used to have 5 briefcases before. I think I didn't even have a job. I had 5 briefcases. And I thought, what the fuck? That's just, you know, I kept 2 and sold them off and thought, well, and the funny thing is too, Josh, I sold off the Minters because the Minters were too good to use. So
Yep.
I kept one where I smacked a guy in the mouth, right? He tried to rob me. So I smacked the guy. It's got the dent in it from where I smacked him in the mouth. And I kind of like it. It's got that hole where it took a tooth out, right? But I don't want to fix it because that's kind of a cool reminder to not fuck with the Archieluxury. And, you know, it's just, I kind of think myself, it's a journey. I want usability. I want nice things I can use. So it's been I wanted originally as many as possible, but now I kind of get more contentment in enjoying the pieces. Next question.
Yeah. What do you think about the decline of the Swiss watch industry?
I think the Swiss are cunts. You know that? The Swiss are cunts. The Swiss are fucking nasty, slick assholes. You know, after World War II, they took all the Jewish money in, right? All these banks, all these Jewish, you know, that they could see that the Holocaust was coming and nasty shit was happening. So they put all their money into a safe haven. Then they don't give it back after the war. These people have died and they've got free finance. The Swiss industry is based on the misery. The whole Swiss financial system is based on the misery of other people. And the watch industry, I got to tell you the truth there. These big Swiss makers are cunts, okay? They won't sell parts to independent watchmakers. Let me look at this, right? They complain. The Swiss watch industry says, oh, there aren't enough watchmakers. Well, the reason for that is, say you get an apprenticeship with General Motors, but then when you start your own mechanic shop, you can't get parts. You can't get oil filters. You can't get spark plugs.
Yeah.
It's going to be very hard to run a repair shop if you can't get basic parts. The whole Swiss industry is like that. They want to keep all the repair side to themselves. So when you say to me, what do I think of the decline of the Swiss industry? It couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of cunts. Next question.
I mean, with the decline of the Swiss industry, though, I feel like less and less people are turned on to watch collecting. And so people like you and me who create content for watch lovers, you know, our audience is declining, right?
Look, it's a hard one. Watches are very popular. They've always been popular, you know. You go back in time, a good watch has always been a cool thing to have, right? Look, I think you got to broaden your base. There are people out there who are botting. They're using a lot of botting, then they're lying. They're lying. You look at some of the watch channels, look at the numbers, okay? Look at the numbers, and it's very clear. They're buying. I mean, look, the easiest thing you can do is you got to understand this. I'm in the, by me, I think Rolex, if you want to compare Rolex to cars, it's probably the BMW or Mercedes of cars. Okay, it's still a mass-produced product, wide international appeal, but it's not a Bentley. Like you'd have a Patek would be a Patek, a Vacheron, an AP would be like a Bentley or a Ferrari, right? Handmade, hand done, super exclusive, right?
Yeah.
And then you got things like the Seiko that'd be like your Chevy. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not talking grand Seiko. I'm talking your basic Seikos, right? Or your Citizen or your low end watches there. So you got different areas. Now, what I think is you look at the Mercedes-Benz, BMW, like the Rolex sort of end there. Yeah, they are always wanted. They're always wanted. The things are declining, the Swiss industry, because the Swiss industry put all their eggs. They don't want Caucasian, American, Australian buyers. They put all their eggs in the Chinese basket. It's like every bubble. In the 80s, the Japanese they could do no wrong. Well, that economy sort of imploded as well. Every super economy goes up and then it has a problem. Like you look at the British economy, they invented industrialization, the steam engine, the spinning jenny. They had all these wonderful things. They became very rich through mechanization. They were the first to do it, so they were the leaders. Now look at England. It's a basket case. They don't make anything anymore. No more cars, very little cars they make. They make very little products in a traditional sense. So these big things, they collapse, okay? America was strong. When was the car industry? Detroit, you're talking post-World War II. right? Huge
Yeah.
wealth, right? Well,
Yep.
they now, General Motors makes a lot of product. They closed down their Detroit facilities. They closed down facilities in Flint, Michigan, because the labor's too high. They send it to Mexico. So all I can say is with the Swiss industry itself there, yes, it's true, it's declining, but these things are up and down. This is how things work. You can't always be flavor of the month. Now, if it's declining, you've got to do other things. You've got to do men's channels. That's why I've gone into the sex tourism. What other things do men like? What do men like? They like women. They like, you got to go pick up some topics. Travel. You got to try something. Just see how there's a huge watch following. The other thing is too, you're going to sell a lot more Chevys than you would ever sell BMWs. BMWs are expensive for the average person. So it depends what market you want. If you really want market share, you're much better off to sell Chevy parts, aren't you? You're better off to sell Chevys than to sell Mercedes or Bentleys. There's only so many buyers for a Bentley because they're fucking expensive. Whereas if you're selling Chevys, you're going to have a lot more because it's much more affordable. So if you are concerned with market share and building your channel, you're probably best to talk about $200 pieces of fucking shit. That's what you're better off to do. No point talking about Rolex. You're better off talking about $300, $400, $500 pieces of fucking shit. That's what you should talk about.
Yeah, I mean that is actually what I do talk about on my channel. I mean, yeah.
Okay, well,
I mean, I don't. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I only
No, it's okay.
I only saw one video. I mean, I don't fucking know what the hell you do.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally understand, and I knew from your previous videos that was what you thought. So.
Yeah. I mean, I tried that crap too, but I just hated the shit. That they just fucking. I just hate that garbage.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure. You
got a big market because a lot of Americans, they need validation. They like to buy garbage because they don't have any money. So they like to be told the garbage they've bought is cool. So yeah, you got a huge market for that because a lot of people are fucking morons.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure from your perspective, keeping the car analogy, once you've rode around in a BMW, you don't want to go back to the Chevys. So that makes total sense.
Exactly.
So what do you think about people with the lower, the $300 to $500 range watches, modifying them to look more like the higher end pieces?
Look, I got nothing against it. If something makes you happy, do whatever you want. Okay, whatever makes you happy. And if you like to do that, and it gives you a boner, now go and do it. It's whatever makes you happy. You know what I mean? You got to be happy. Life is about happiness. I had my father came for dinner last night, right? And he said to me, he really wants to get a Mercedes. In Australia, Mercedes are expensive, okay?
Yeah.
And, I said to him, why don't you, he's my old man, 68 in fucking December. I said, why don't you just fucking, he's got money. He's got $1 million home. He's got an investment unit at the coast. He's got money in the bank, in shares. Okay, it's a little bit tight because he was taken to the cleaners by a woman. But I honestly think, to be honest with you there, whatever makes you happy. You really want a Benz, buy a Benz. I said to him, get one. Let's get one. Got to have fun. I mean, how many more years has he got left? You got to have whatever makes you flow. It's not for me to say your hobby is shit. You understand? Like if you like doing that, right? Well,
yeah.
who am I to judge what you do? You understand? I mean, if you enjoy that and you get a thrill out of that, Why is that wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely understand.
And I mean, I'm actually working with a company. I don't know if this is going to come off. Let me just lay the cards. I'll be accused of being a hypocrite, but I don't give a fuck. They're all cunts out there. I'm actually working with a company that uses a Japanese Rialto movement. What's that movement? Fuck, it's 4 a.m. here. What's that movement? What's that movement that the shitter movements use? Miyota. What's that movement? In the Jap movement.
Miyota.
Miyota. And it's a build your own watch. You specify the dot, you put it together yourself. You actually build it yourself, and it's going to be about the $200 to $300 mark. So, you know, it's just kind of a watch you can put together. And I think this modding and doing things like that can be really fun.
Yeah,
I'm actually helping them for virtually nothing. They're going to send me a free one, but I'm not earning any money out of it. I'm just trying to help these guys who love the hobby. You know, that's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, who is anyone to say this is shit, this is good, this is bad? Well, probably my advice is right. Some of the, you know, don't fool yourself that Chevy. Don't fool yourself that Chevy Malibu is a BMW 5 Series, because it's fucking not, right? But if you enjoy the Malibu, it takes the family to the beach, it takes you to school, it takes you to your job. Well, is that really wrong? You know what I mean? But don't expect me to fucking kiss your asshole and rim you out just because you got this Chevy Malibu with wheels on it. And you know, what do I care? You know, but so I think personally, whatever floats, whatever makes you happy. You're only here for a short time. You know, what makes you happy? The world is so fucking miserable. You know, there's no jobs are hard to come by. You got fucking, you know, look at the political system in America. You got Clinton and you got Trump. Fuck me dead. And I'm a Trump person, by the way. Trump all the way, okay?
Yeah.
Fuck, it's still pretty fucking abysmal, you know? I like good leaders. I can remember the Nixon. I love Nixon. I'm a huge Nixon fan, you know?
Yeah.
Tricky Dicky. He was a good president, you know? I liked Nixon. Nixon was cool. I really loved Nixon. Nixon was a good president. LBJ was a cunt. He killed Kennedy. Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was really, he's really a cool guy, but he was fucking hopeless as a president. Yeah, so look, I really think myself there. Who am I to say what you do is shit? You know, if you enjoy it, well, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I think the thing is when you talk about the lower end watches and you use the derogatory language, a lot of people take that personally. So
I got my shtick. I got a fucking business to run. I need to get ratings. I mean, I'm not going to get ratings by being a patsy here, am I? You gotta fucking have your own shtick. What's your shtick? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean that totally makes sense.
I mean, the cunts from the Swiss industry would never sponsor me or give me any freebies. They despise me just as much as the cunts in the low end fucking industry. Everyone hates me because I'm trying to make a living based on their bullshit. They're all cunts. Look, I tell you honestly, right? I don't give a fuck. Someone said to me, "Oh, I watch your channel and I bought this watch. I bought a Rolex. I bought this." I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck do I give a fuck what the fuck you've bought? I don't get any commission. What do I fucking care? Go and have a circle jerk for all I care.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring that word into my live show, circle jerk. Just do a Google on it. You'll have a laugh.
I know what that is. What I guess what would your advice be to like younger collectors like myself, and even younger gentlemen out there? I know you want to keep it broad.
My advice, instead of buying garbage, why don't you buy one decent watch?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Buy a Speedmaster, man. It's such a cool watch for. Buy a Rolex. Just get one decent, good watch instead of, you know, by the time you flip and change and do this and do that and lose money and this and that, you could have bought a Rolex or a decent Omega, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat, you know. I think realistically, I think that's the way to go. I think that's the way to go. But you know, you got whatever floats your boat. People like, no one fucking listens to me, so you know it doesn't really matter. Next question. No air. We don't need this air.
Yeah.
The air is dangerous. Okay.
What about the what about not watch related, just for younger gentlemen?
Sure. Fire away.
Oh, no. I mean, like, what is your advice for younger gentlemen? Just in general.
Look, best advice I can give you is number one, don't get married. Okay, don't get married until you're at least 45. Next bit of advice is try and save some money every pay. Try and see, Americans live beyond what they earn. They're always short. Try and save a bit of what you earn. And I've made these mistakes. It's only when I'm older now I look back and think, fuck, if I had kept that money invested, I would be quite well off. But three divorces and 37 affairs has a toll on you, okay?
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it would.
So, yeah, so my advice is, number one, don't get married. Number two, save, just keep a little bit for yourself. And number three is buy a good watch. Okay, if you want a Rolex, buy a Rolex. You want an Omega, buy an Omega. You want a Breitling, buy the one you really want. Before you buy it, do your homework to make sure the one you want is actually has some resale and it is collectible, right? Americans are like sheep, okay? If everyone likes it, they like it. As soon as everyone hates it, they hate it. They're very sheeple, okay? So you don't want to buy a dog, for example. You don't want to buy the Omega reduced, you know, the automatic Speedmaster. And then everyone says, oh, why didn't you get the manual wind? Why didn't you get the man on the moon one? So you're better off to get the one that is the right one, because people in America are very much like sheep, right? This is the same in Australia and the rest of the world. It's no real fucking difference. Do your research, get one good one, right? But don't buy stupid things. Like buying very, very expensive clothing is a dumb idea. Why not? You could buy a few clothes from Kmart. You got a Rolex. Well, that's cool. You got your beautiful watch on your wrist, but you can buy a Kmart shirt. It's not a problem. Do you have to always buy a $90 shirt? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my
makes
advice
total sense.
really is buy something that you love and you like, but then you can make other things. You don't have to always go to a restaurant. You can sort of expensive restaurants. You know what I mean? I think you got to live within your means. Very important. So I think realistically, right, the best advice I can give to young people there is that your age, right? Say a 20-year-old, 25-year-old guy who's just started out, got a basic job, may have a Speedmaster, right? He's got something that an 85-year-old billionaire doesn't have. He's got time. You see what I mean?
Yep.
That's a very valuable thing. I actually had this interesting conversation with a guy many years ago in Bangkok. I was 35, I was early 30s, and he was 70s, okay? So 40-year difference. And he said to me he would swap all his money. when I say he wasn't super rich, he was probably worth $2 or $3 million, right? So, you know, it's okay. American guy. He said he'd swap all his money to be young again because he could always make the money again, but he can't be young again. So young people have something very valuable. They got time, okay? So what I think is, always remember that you've got something that the old rich people don't have. You've got time. So I think realistically, you got to be sensible, right? Best thing I can advise people in general, young people, because they got so much more that they're naive and they don't realize that what's on them. But basically, best advice: don't get married too quickly. Save a bit each pay. Buy a really good watch, like a Rolex, but then don't buy stupid expensive clothing all the time. I mean, you can buy one or two, but does everything have to be a designer shirt? Do you always have to buy the Nikes when you don't really do any exercise? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
The other thing is that I honestly would say to you, you really want to not rely on consumer credit. Credit cards, personal loans, not a good way to always go. Be careful with the consumer credit choices you make. For example, when I bought a car, I could have easily leased a Lexus, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I bought a Civic. You might say, what the fuck would you do that for? It's a shitter. It's a shitter. Well, I've had fancy cars, and yeah, I love them. They are good. Fancy cars are beautiful, but they're also expensive. The insurance, everything's expensive, right? Whereas with the Honda, it's boring, okay? It's fucking boring, right? But it doesn't depreciate much because everyone wants to buy a second-hand basic four-cylinder Japanese car. It's probably going to give me 10 years good use out of it. It doesn't have electric seats or electric this, so there's less to break down. And the repayments are very high because it's interest-free for 3 years, okay? So the payments on my car, it's a $23,500 car, but the payments are $700 a month, just under $700 a month. You think, fuck, that's dear. But it's interest-free. There's no interest component. It's basically the full price divided by 36 repayments. So I could have leased for that same amount, $700 a month. I could have leased a much nicer car. But you've got to say to yourself, right? Finance, credit cards, personal loans, consumer debt. It's really, if you don't have these things, you're going to have a much more freer life. It's amazing. I used to get 7 statements come in every month. I had 5 credit cards, plus I had some loans that did direct debits. When you don't have that, it's a huge weight off your shoulders. So stay away from consumer. I mean, you've got to borrow money to buy a house. Sometimes you need to borrow money, but just be careful. Consumer credit is a trap for the middle classes, and they want to keep you enslaved. Okay?
Yeah, that makes total sense. I think that's really good advice.
So what do you do? Tell me this. What do you do in America? What's your job, or what do you do?
I'm actually in my 3rd year of university, so I'm a young one.
Okay, you're studying. What are you studying?
I'm studying computer engineering at a school in Boston, Massachusetts.
Ah, Boston. I got good friends in Boston, Massachusetts. That's a great suburb. Great state, I should say.
Yeah, I really like it.
Did your family come over on the what's that fucking boat? You know, what's that first boat the fuckers came out in?
Oh gosh.
Santa Fe? What was it? Fuck me dead. What's the first boat that came? Mayflower. Did your family come over in the Mayflower?
No. They immigrated from England a long time ago.
No worries. So tell me this. You're studying, that's good to see. There's a lot of great hope for that sort of IT industry's fucked. I don't know if you've seen my IT videos, why the IT industry sucks.
No, I actually haven't.
Yeah, I have a lot of videos on why the IT industry sucks. Just look at your good friends Disney. They went and outsourced all the jobs to India. Go and have a look at that to restore your faith in the good old US of A. Bunch of cunts, you know that? That's all I can say.
Yeah,
And
outsourcing is a huge problem.
So, no, that's good. You're getting a degree. That's good. And what watch do you have yourself? What watches do you have yourself?
Well, they're all in that that $300 to $500 range. So
Yeah. What do you have? Tell me what you have.
nothing too impressive. I have a Christopher Ward
Yeah.
C60 Trident Pro. I have a Hamilton Jazzmaster.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Tissot Powermatic 80.
Yeah.
And then I have two Seikos.
I must say this that I don't want to say anything bad there, but there's some decent stuff. The Tissot, that's a great Swiss brand. Bang per buck. Tissot's a long established brand. You can't fault that. If you're going to have shitters, that's a wise buy. Tissot's a great brand. It's sort of like Oris is another great brand. I really think they're a cool brand. You got the Hamilton Jazzmeister. That's actually quite a. You bought it secondhand, of course, didn't you?
It was actually a gift, but it was significantly discounted. So yeah.
Hamilton's that's a great American brand. That really, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that watch. So I did have a gold tone Frederic Constant, but I actually sold that. I didn't like it.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No, I understand. Citizen's taken them over. You know that, of course, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a nice. You love your watches. Well, what's wrong with that?
Yeah. No, I mean I like them, and it gives me opportunity to review them on the channel, and eventually I will probably buy an Omega Speedmaster.
So what's your Grail watch? What's the Grail?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would probably be, I know you don't like two-tone, but it would probably be a two-tone Rolex sub with a blue dial.
I don't mind two. That's a great watch. The two-tone sub is an amazing piece.
Yeah, and I found one used in really good condition for about 7,500.
Yeah.
And
I got to tell you the truth. I got the solid gold one, right?
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, it's really not that usable. I mean, it's a fancy watch. It's a great watch. I just took it to Singapore. But it's not really that usable because the gold is... The two-tone is the perfect situation because you got the strength of the steel with the gold as the trim. And you get that really sexy... one of my mistresses, I said, because I had two of them. I had a two-tone. I was taking it overseas to claim the tax back. And I had my solid gold. I just got my solid gold. I said, which one do you prefer? Right? You know which one she preferred? The two-tone.
Yeah.
And I think, look, if I wasn't the YouTube celebrity that I am, I'd probably go for a two-tone. But because I am who I am, I need a really loud, big piece. You know what I mean? So that's why I've gone for it. But I think for a normal person, I agree. The two-tone is that's fucking expensive. That's not a cheap watch. It's not a cheap watch. And I think that's a watch you can have for life. So your Grail is a two-tone sub.
Yep.
And the Omega Speedmaster features in the mix somewhere.
Yeah, I would probably have the Omega Speedmaster as my chronograph.
Yeah.
The two-tone sub as the diver, and then I would probably have I don't know, maybe an IWC for a pilot watch.
Tell me this, when did you start watching the Archieluxury channel?
Probably about a year ago.
How did you come onto it?
I think I was looking for, I must have typed something into search, and one of your videos came up.
And what do you think of the channel? You can be honest.
Well, it's a persona, right? So
who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I think, you know, in terms of like video quality, we were talking a little bit about cameras and lenses there for a second. I think, you know, compared to your competition, you're starting to be kind of overshadowed in that regard. But I mean, yeah, you're doing this full time, so I completely understand the all caps titles.
Sure.
I mean, you definitely get the audience's attention.
Yeah, a lot of, yeah, I understand. Fair enough. That's cool. That's very cool. That's cool. And what other watch channels do you like there? What else do you watch?
I'm allowed to mention names now?
No, as long as they're my friends.
Oh, okay. You know, Archie, who are your friends?
I don't have many. Okay, I see. Yeah, it's what's your view on the shitters? Is there such a thing as shitters best not to touch?
I mean, I think the really low end is hard. I think under 200, you might as well just not buy a watch, or, you know, buy a cheap quartz piece. But then, you know, if you're going between 200 and 1,000, I think you could get something that looks really nice. But anything over 1,000, I'm kind of, you know, agreeing with you. You know, you should just save up. There are a lot of independent brands that target the $1,000 to $2,000 range, and my thing would be, you know, if you have $2,000, why not just save an extra 1,000 or 2,000 and get something that's really good?
Yeah, I understand there, and that's a fair point. That's a fair point. So it's very tough. You're in America. You're going to college. It's hard to save for these watches. Like, they're a lot of money, aren't they? Really?
Yeah. Well, especially as a college student. Yeah.
And tell me this there. Who are you going for? Clinton or Bush? Clinton or Trump? Clinton or Trump? Sorry, I just think I'm in a dream.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna like this answer.
No, you tell me. I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
Well, yeah, I mean, I personally think Clinton's economic policy is more sustainable and probably the more responsible option for the United States, but everyone has their own opinion. So
who do you think's going to win?
Yeah, it's really hard to tell.
I just think Clinton's a nasty, vicious lesbian bitch. But if you want to look at economic policy, sure, I understand. Point taken.
Well, the thing about president is not whether or not you want to grab a beer with the person.
But the thing is, you look at Bill Clinton. He's one of the most corrupt, nastiest presidents in all time. Look at the people he pardoned after he left. Look at the donors to the foundation. It's a bit slippery, don't you you'd have to agree with that, no?
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit slippery, but again, I don't think Trump is squeaky clean either. When he was in a lot of debt, the only people that were able to or were willing to loan him money were rich Russians. And if you're
Sure.
looking at the election really closely right now, the Russians have hacked a lot of private email things, and they're influencing the election. So it's a bit scary. Honestly, the president is the head of a big ship, and it has a very small rudder. So whoever wins, I don't think that they're going to have a very large impact.
But tell me this. Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying there, right? But Trump is a survivor, right? Is he any worse than Obama? Is he going to fuck things up any more than Obama has? I mean, Obama came in with great ideals. Is America a better place after Obama, post-Obama? I mean, it was very nice to have a colored man in the White House. That was a very good milestone to achieve. And he is actually a very smart man. You can't deny Obama is very clever, and he's a very clever guy, and you can't deny that. But has he improved America since he came in? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, again, depending on which party you follow, you could argue either way. But
yeah, he's had problems with the Senate. He can't get anything through. Okay, the upper house, can he? It's his biggest problem he's got. He can't get anything passed, right?
Yeah. The Senate is blocking him on a lot of stuff. Although he did get Obamacare through. I know that that's very, very controversial. And the economy has recovered since he's taken office. He hasn't done anything that I would say is sexy,
No.
But it's sustainable.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. He did inherit a mess.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Most people don't think his term in office was good, but they don't think he was an effective leader.
Yeah, and again, that it's dependent upon which party you follow.
I know. Well, I'm a swinging voter, but you understand. I'm not one way or the other.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could meet some presidents, who would I'll tell you who I want to meet. I want to meet. These are alive or dead, right? I'd want to meet. Number one would be Nixon. Number two, Nixon. I want to meet Nixon. I want to meet JFK.
Yeah.
I'd want to meet. I'd want to meet Obama.
Yep.
And Reagan. There you go. So I mean, I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm very non-party. You see what I mean? I mean, I like Democrats and I like Republicans. I mean, you can't get. The funny thing is, Nixon and Kennedy, that they were rivals. They were rivals. They were running. They ran against each other there.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I'm not really a party person. Can you see that or not really?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, and
I can see you're a Democrat. You're a Democrat. That's cool. Democrats. I actually like Bernie Sanders better than Hillary Clinton. You know that?
Yeah, I mean, I do too.
He's
But
really left. He's really left, right? But the lesbian bitch got in. I mean, what do you fucking say? The machine got her in. I mean, you can't blame Clinton for seeing other women, can you really?
not after what Bill did.
No, I'm saying you can't blame Bill for seeing other women.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, she's a lesbian, okay? Not that that matters really. I mean, does it really matter? I mean, some of the best presidents of all time have been swordsmen. Kennedy. I really like Kennedy. Kennedy was a great leader. I love Kennedy. He was a bit of a swordsman, you know? Whereas you have leaders like Jimmy Carter who was very I think he's a very loyal man in that sense, and he was probably a shitty president.
Yeah, I mean,
Mind you, I really like Jimmy Carter as the statesman. I'd love to meet Jimmy Carter. He's a great statesman. He's not material. He's a really cool. I think Jimmy Carter's a really nice guy. I'd love to meet you. He's not well, I hear.
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, had a cancer scare, doesn't he? And he's 90s, isn't he? He's fairly old.
Yeah, he is pretty old at this point. Yeah, I think he did have a cancer scare.
But I mean, he's a much better Democrat than Clinton. At least Jimmy Carter was a man of his word. I think Clinton's a bit of a corrupt fucker. Bill Clinton is a dodgy, corrupt fucker.
Yeah, I mean, corruption is. I think
LBJ was a cunt. You know that? You know, I don't know. Come on, you're a watchman. Have you gone to Jake's Rolex forum?
Yeah, I have a few times.
Because he believes that Kennedy was killed by LBJ. LBJ was one of the instigators of the death of Kennedy.
Yeah.
You don't like that view?
No, I mean, I would generally tend to avoid conspiracy theories.
And Mrs. Kennedy actually preferred Nixon to LBJ. You know that, don't you?
I don't.
Yeah, Nixon invited the Kennedys to the White House. He was very, very good to the Kennedys, whereas LBJ was just a cunt. I think Nixon was a good. I really like Nixon as a president. I like Nixon. Nixon's got so many things that appeal to me as a leader. He was never as charismatic or sexy like Kennedy was, and a very smart man. He had anger issues. There were some anger issues there, but I think Nixon was. Did you like Nixon as a president? What do you think of Nixon? What do you think of Nixon? I'm just being honest. What do you think of Nixon? I think Nixon was Nixon was a good president. I like Nixon. Now, what do you think of Nixon?
I mean, this is way before my time.
Sure. I understand. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I probably don't have anything really intelligent to say about Nixon.
Sure.
So
Nixon's biggest mistake was he owned up. You know?
Yeah, got impeached.
But it's really sad because he wanted the job for so long, and when he finally got there, he was in his second term. They fucked it up.
Yeah, with the re-election.
Well, no, with the break-in to the Democratic headquarters, they broke in, and that's why the scandal was such a thing. Which is, the Democrats were fucking hopeless anyhow. Very sad what happened there, but that's the reason Jimmy Carter came in, because people were pissed off. Otherwise, they wouldn't have got Carter elected. And Carter was a poor president. You know, he wasn't. I don't think he was that. Many scandals came up there. Reagan, you a Reagan fan?
Yeah, again, before my time.
Oh, I see. Reagan. See, people think Reagan was just a dumb movie star, but he was always a political man. He was always, he was. I got a lot of respect for Reagan. I never really thought much of him, but as I've read history, I realized Reagan wasn't as dumb as I thought he was. He was actually quite very committed. He was a former Democrat who became a Republican.
Yeah.
It's a bit like you. Once you start earning real bucks, you'll change. You see?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
No.
yeah, I'm on the fence as it is right now.
Yeah. So tell me this: with you've got your watches there. What does your family think of your watch collecting?
I mean, I think they tolerate it. I mean, I've bought all of my pieces with my money except for the one that was a gift. So, I mean, they tolerate it. The channel has helped me legitimize it, I guess.
And what does your girlfriend think of your collecting?
She actually likes it. She watches every one of my videos.
Hey, that's good. What's she studying?
Communications.
Sounds cool. Sounds cool. And that sounds really cool there. So look, so how old are you?
I'm 20.
See, you know, I lose faith in America. I lose faith. But then I see someone 20 who's trying hard.
Yeah, I'm trying my hardest.
There is still hope in America.
I think so. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Well, anyhow, well, that's great. Thanks so much there. And any other questions you want to fire off?
You know, I think you covered everything there, Arch. I really appreciate you giving the time.
Hey, that's no worries. I couldn't sleep, so.
Yeah, I know.
It's how it goes, you know. It's how it goes. It's taking a big toll, this blackmail, the hatred.
Yeah.
It's taking.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. And I know you're trying to do YouTube full time. So it just makes it worse.
But the other thing is too, now that I've confessed to multiple affairs, now that I've confessed to many sins and misdeeds, I can reveal the dirt on the blackmailer now, can't I? I can have a great couple of weeks pushing.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who has a news show, I'm very much looking forward to what comes next.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's the soap opera, you know.
It is. It's like drama.
Yeah, it's good. Yep, thank you for your time, and I don't know what to say. It's fantastic. So this has been a good. So you just all you need to do is you just use something like CC, you know, those downloaders to download this clip.
Yeah.
Then just put it on your channel. That's all you need to do. Just edit out the bits that you don't like, and
yeah.
That's what all the Democrats do. They take all the nasty bits out, right? And they
Yeah, I'll just cut the politics out of it, you know.
Yeah, you don't like the politics?
No, I mean, everyone is very passionate about it.
I find the politics don't really bring much ratings in.
Yeah.
I don't understand your gun control in America. It's one thing, you know, in Australia, we had a conservative government, right? It's like your Republicans.
Yeah.
We had a mass shooting, and they took a lot of guns away. And you want to know something truthfully?
Sure.
I'm fucking pleased we don't have guns everywhere. I fucking like this. I think it's much better.
Yeah.
It's
worked. A lot of the people that you just allied yourself with wouldn't like that.
Well, I don't give a fuck. You understand? I really don't give a
totally
fuck.
do. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, guns are bad. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I own one, Arch. I have one.
There you go. That's how fucking stupid it is. A 20-year-old's got a gun.
Well, it's my grandfather's, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously, they outlawed. They didn't outlaw guns. They outlawed automatic, semi. I don't know. I'm not a fucking gun person. All I know is I never had a gun, and I'm actually pleased they've reduced the guns in society, right? And there's going to be some fucking nasty Republican who comes out and says you're wrong and this and that. But average Australians, I've got to be honest with you, conservative and liberal. Well, see, we don't say liberal. You know when you Americans say liberal, right?
Yeah.
Our Conservative Party is called the Liberal Party.
Okay, yeah.
And our left-wing party is called Labour, and they're more socialist than left-wing. You understand? They're even more left-wing. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I got to be honest with you, both sides of politics, guns, our society's better without the guns. Can I say that?
Yeah, yeah.
It's really a lot better. It's really a lot better. And, you know, in England, the police don't even carry guns often.
Really?
Yeah, they don't have guns. You look at the average English cop, just has a big stick, has a big baton, right? A truncheon, right? But he doesn't have a gun. And
yeah,
I mean,
it's completely different.
You know, Americans, guns are a fucking nasty thing, you know?
Yeah.
See, someone's in America, if you're doing a house breaker and enter, you have a gun because the guy who's in the home may have a gun as well. You know what I mean? There's all these guns, it just becomes a disaster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I kind of prefer a society without guns. If I had a choice, right? I prefer a society which doesn't really have guns. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's actually we always have, you have terrorism, you have stupid things that can happen, but you don't have fucking 5-year-old kids finding their dad's revolver and shooting their sister, do you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about America, though, is that the guns are kind of a reminder of our independence from Britain. So that's a whole different thing. I don't know how it is in Australia.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, that's true, you had independence, but you sold yourself to China.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? The Americans forget that. You don't manufacture much stuff these days.
Yeah, yeah, it's completely true.
You go into a Walmart, what content is Chinese in a Walmart? What content of product is Chinese?
Probably 90%.
See, does it have to be that way?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's very sad that, you know? And Britain's been in the shitter for decades. Since World War II, Britain's been in the shitter.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to say. I don't like guns. I think society is better off without them.
Yeah, I mean, with all of politics, you know, I think it's really complicated, and it's not really something that I'm really passionate about. I would rather, you know, just get my degree and try and live a happy life and let other people worry about it.
I see. Hey, it's been great chatting to you. I better let you go.
Yeah, yeah, thank you, Archie.
Thanks a lot. Stay in touch.
Yeah, yeah, you too.
I'm just stopping.